In this video, we're going to learn about Axios and we'll fetch data like news from a real API. If you want to fetch data from an API in a React application, you need to work with HTTP request. Now, JavaScript provides a built-in way to make these requests with the fetch API. But while fetch API works well, it has a few limitations and can require more setup for handling things like JSON responses, error handling, and request configurations. And here Axios comes in, make those easy for developers. So Axios is a popular JavaScript library for making HTTP requests in a web application, allowing you to interact with REST API easily. It's lightweight, handles requests asynchronously, and this just means it doesn't block the user interface while waiting for a response. And mainly it will wait for a response before taking action. In simple words, you need an asynchronous operations like you only show the data if it's already loaded from backend API. Let's talk about HTTP request. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's the foundation of data communication on the web. When you use Axios to make HTTP request, you are asking a server for some request or sending some request. So let's see how you can fetch data from an API to React application. In this example, I am using a news API provider to fetch data from. So we will work with a news API. It's called newsapi.org. It's an API what provides lots of news data like top headlines and then business news from different countries. So it's a pretty standard API to test Axios. Now let's go to Visual Studio, and here you can see it's completely empty, and there's a component called news list, and this news list is mounted on app.js and news list is empty. So first of all, open the terminal and say npm install Axios, and it will take some time and it will be installed. Go to newslist.jsx and there we'll import Axios from Axios. So in our news API response, if you see there, you can see that there's a couple of fields they will provide as a response. That's like status, total results, articles. So we need the articles field. So first of all, let's take an empty array state, and in our Visual Studio, we'll say const articles, set articles equals to useState and an empty array. Later, we will fill this article with these API responses. So next, call the use effect, cause whenever this app mounts, we just want to fetch the articles from news API. So we'll call a function from use effect. Let's just make an arrow function and a third bracket. Don't forget to add this, and it will make sure you just click once and then say fetch news, and this is the function we are going to call when mounting the app. So here just say const fetch news and arrow function, and it will be an asynchronous function. So here const fetch API equals to, and say like async, let's say try const response equals to await Axios.get. Now Axios provide a get method to get the API data, and if you hover upon the get, you will see it takes a URL as a string and some configuration. So for the URL, just say an empty string, and then classify our parameters. We'll say params, and here we will say country, the US, and our API key will be a string that is a unique API key for every users, and actually it is used to track your uses. But first, for the URL, we'll just copy this newsapi.org and top headlines, and here the top headlines is the endpoint. For each new or different API data, the endpoints will be changed. So copy the URL and paste it, and then go to API key and copy the API key and paste it. So lastly, mention set articles. Actually it's articles, And here say response.data.articles. And here the articles mean the article fields from the API. And then say catch error console.log error. Now you can say it's done, but let's just check it's working or not. So we're gonna say console.log articles. And now if you inspect here and go to the console, you can see there's an array with 20 elements. And each element contains author, provider, description, source, etc. So it's mean it's working. Now if you say console.log articles.title, okay, so it's saying undefined because obviously there is no field in articles that's saying titles, cause in articles there is elements that is object, and in each object there is title. So in article, to grab a title, we can say article any index name, like let's say 0, and you can see there's a title. It's mean it's working fine. So now go to the return and say h2 tag, say like top news. Actually say like this, and class name, let's say font semi-bold, and probably text will be large, and also text like 2XL, and make it top news like this. It and another tag called UL will map through all the element of articles. So we can say articles dot map and return a function and pass item here, and item is representing the elements of articles. So in item we'll say like p item.title, and now you can see all the titles of the article is showing up. And here class name, as we can say font semi-bold, text can be like large, and okay, so in map you have to return it single parent. So create a div and here move our p tag, again copy and paste it, and we'll say item.description, and you can see all the descriptions are showing here. Now text will be asym font, let's delete the font, and you can see all the description and title are showing there. Let's see what else we can add. Okay, there is a field called URL to image, so let's try to add this. Come back to Visual Studio and say img source, and it will be item dot URL to image, and you can see all the images are rendering. So this is how you can get an API request from News API.